let's do another example, and let's consider the expression y prime plus cosine of ty. That's going to be on the left-hand side of an equation that we're going to state down here. And we multiply this by e to the sine of t. We get e to the sine of ty prime plus cosine of t e to the sine of ty. Now let's consider the expression y e to the sine of t prime. What do we get when we take that derivative? We get y prime times e to the sine of t plus y times e to the sine of t prime, which equals y prime e to the sine of t plus y times cosine of t e to the sine of t. So if we have the equation y prime plus cosine of ty equals t, well, let's think for a minute about how the sine of t came about here. Now, the reason we use the sine of t, and you have to get used to this, you have to work through some examples, but we just take the coefficient of our y function and integrate it. So, integral of cosine of t dt equals sine of t, and that's what goes in the exponent of the exponential function that we multiply by this expression. So that if we have this equation, we identify the coefficient of our y function as cosine of t, and realize that if we multiply this by e to the sine of t, something good might happen. And doing that, what do we get? We get e to the sine of ty prime plus cosine of t e to the sine of t y equals t e to the sine of t. Now, is that good? Does that help us? Left-hand side is identical to the expression we got up here. And we know that this expression is the derivative of y e to the sine of t, so that this tells us our equation is now of the form e to the sine of t prime equals t e to the sine of t. As before, we're just about home free. We can integrate both sides of this equation with respect to t. I can write in my dt here, and I can write a little dt in here. The integral of the derivative of this function is just y e to the sine of t, and that's equal to the integral of t e to the sine of t dt. If we can perform this integral, then we can solve for y by simply dividing whatever this integral is by e to the sine of t. Now, we can do this integral. That's just a simple integration by parts, very standard integration technique. I'm not going to go through the details of that right now. We just want to get used to this idea.